One thing that's always frustrated me was trying to get fire by friction using a bow drill set. Well, recently I was able to acquire that skill, thank the Lord, and I am going to share some of that process with you guys today. And believe it or not, it's not as bad as you think. And I've seen it before and heard it. Once you get it, it's like a world of opportunity opens up, and it's like riding a bike. You get it, you can get it again a lot easier. So check the video out. The first section, I'm going to find the material using oak. The second section is I'm going to make my spindle, my fireboard, without cutting the video until I get fire. So check it out. If you need to fast forward through any of this, feel free to do so, but please like and subscribe. Thanks. I think that might work. I'm gonna see if I can use maybe this section from here to here as a spindle. All right, spindle, put it there, and fireboard, I'm gonna say from here to here maybe. Let's get a little thicker piece too. Let's go maybe here. This piece is also potential. I'm gonna get something in the V here. This is the thickest spot. So I'm gonna try that first. I think this might work here. All right, so I have this, and I have this. Here we go. Fireboard, spindle. Now let's go find us a nice area. Spindle, fireboard. We're gonna process it. All right, first thing I wanna do is I wanna start processing this down. I've got some knots on here, etc. I'm gonna start with my knife here. I'm gonna come down, get some of this main bark off just to get it smooth. I like using a spindle that is close to what I need. But if it's real wet outside, you're gonna have to get something a little thicker and dig into it a little more with your, process it down a little more to get that moisture out the edge. It's been dry past couple days. I reckon it's been about 3 or 4 days since it's rained. So, that's that. I'm gonna grab kind of smooth out some of these knots here. There's a hole on this end from a bug, so that's going to be my spindle end. This is going to be my bearing block end. I said spindle end, I meant my hearth board end, fireboard, whatever you want to call it. All right. There's that. Knock off this knot here. It ain't got to be perfect, just got to be close. Now I'm going to sharpen this bearing block end. All right, so you can see sharp end, that's bearing block end, fireboard end, okay? There's the little hole. All right, now let's work on my fireboard here. So peel some of this bark off. This thing is somewhat already split right here. I'm debating on what I want to do with that. I might take this thing, I'm going to take it, and I'm just simply going to splice it, make a board. Now this I had already. You can just get your own when you're in the woods, but I had this in this spot here, so. Okay, there's one side. Come over here. I'm doing about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, there's the other side. Looks real nice and dry. When I tap it, I can hear that nice acoustic sound with that wood. My split's on this end, so I'm gonna put my wedge and everything. I mean my cut slit and all that stuff on the opposite end. So, all right. So there's my fireboard. I split one end, split the other end. You notice there was a natural split in here. I like that, sounds good and dry. So I'm gonna put my spindle somewhere here, drill through, and I'm gonna cut my notch over here on this side, the opposite of this. So go ahead and so I'm making that notch. There we go, making my notch. You guys can see my notch here. Spindle will sit in my notch to burn it in. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and grab my bow, which I brought with me. If you're in a survival situation, you could always use a shoestring, and of course you can process out and make your own bow while you're out there. Due to time, I brought my bow. Really what I'm trying to learn more of right now is to be able to locate the materials I need and use those materials to make the fire. So that's really the biggest thing. And I have a bearing block here. And that bearing block is made out of fat wood. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to cut me a little notch. I've got one already here in my bearing block, but I'm gonna cut another one here. I'm gonna actually dig into that same notch that I've been using and sharpen my end just a hair on my bearing block spindle. Okay, so let's burn this in. I have my tinder bundle ready. Now, if I were doing a real fire, when I say real, this is gonna be a real fire, but what I mean is a full fire, I would actually have all my materials here with me. So that's the key. You don't wanna do this and then go find your materials. You want to make sure that you are prepared. All right, so let's start here. I'm gonna start right here. I'm not turning this off, but I wanna see if I can get a better video here. Okay, I think that will work. Yep, okay. You guys can see what's going on here. I'm gonna pull this down just a hair. I can put my foot on it. Here we go. All right, this will kind of let me know what I'm working with in terms of material. Is it dry enough? Anything like that. Getting a little bit of smoke, which may be good. We're gonna see. Okay, yep. All right, that's looking pretty good so far. I'm just gonna keep burning this in. Okay. Okay. All right, that's actually not looking too bad. Right there, okay. Now that's burnt in there, and then there's my notch here. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna cut my V out. What I usually do is I start on one side, angle in, and then I slowly work my way over. The biggest thing to remember is I tried this for years, could never get it. And I even was praying about this thing to ask God to help me to be able to get this skill. And sure enough, he did. And guys, gals, y'all, don't get too frustrated with this, because I was. The biggest thing I've learned is the materials. Just make sure they're dry. Dry and not too wet, full of moisture. So I'm cutting a notch. You'll see that. Cutting that notch there. Slowly making my way down. Now you'll notice I started on this side and work my way over. That's typically how I do it. Everybody has their own ways of doing things. I'm gonna go back over on that other side. I'm trying to get that V cut. To that center, or about a third of the way to the center. As you get that notch, you're gonna have that little bump here. You're gonna wanna kinda make sure your shavings can get in through there, okay? Now, when you burn it in, you remember this is not the full size of that hole. So just keep in mind that that hole size will grow a little bit. And then I'm gonna kind of notch out the bottom here, kind of flare it. I like flaring out that bottom just a little bit. Okay. All right, so there it is. There's my V. All right, we're gonna see. Matter of fact, let me notch that just a hair more. Okay, there it is. Now let's see if we can get some embers. I brought a leaf here. This is gonna be used to catch my embers. So I'm gonna set that underneath here to catch my embers. I also have my little tinder bundle over here to the side here. And that's just pine straw that I found. Okay, wrap this. All right, let's give it a go. See what happens. This could work well, or it might be a complete fail. All right, let's yes, okay. Okay, let's try. So all I'm doing right now is I'm building that dust up in that notch. Now I like it when I see that dust start to cake there, just kind of collect around the lip, that's a good sign that this is gonna work. If it starts falling and just crumbling like quicksand, that's typically gonna probably be an issue with that material. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just building. I'm building my material, which is that dust. That's what's gonna ignite. That's what's gonna collect and cause my ember. And I don't have to overexert here. I can just slow and steady. Got a little pressure, but not too much. It's smoking already. I'm just trying to build my dust up a little bit more. All right, so now my V is pretty much full now. I got smoke, so I'm gonna give it a little pressure, go a little faster here. See a little bit of smoke going on. So, looks like I have an ember going here. Now, when I started to see smoke here in this dust pile, that told me it was heating up good. And so I want to let that coalesce and turn into a nice coal, okay? So, I'm gonna see if you guys can see that right there. Okay. All right, so now as that coalesces, I'm gonna back this thing up a little bit and keep the camera rolling right there. I've got that ember going. Now I'd have all my materials, everything here, ready to go. I've got my tinder bundle here, okay? I'm going to kind of knot the rest of this coal here, and you guys can see, just kind of putting a little bit of that dust on there. I'm just letting this thing grow. I don't have to get in a hurry. That's one thing I used to think. You got to get in a hurry. You don't have to get in a hurry when you have a good coal. Just let it build. It's going to help you in the long run. So, and this is oak. This what I used, oak board, oak spindle. Now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to bring my tinder bundle to everything. I'm going to simply drop it in here. And there you have it. So that was oak pieces. When I first started learning, a lot of places I would read is, don't use oak. Oak is the worst material. To me, good dried oak, from what I've been practicing, and again, I consider myself a newbie at this. From what I've been practicing, oak, to me, has made the best coals that I've had. Had very successful production of fire with oak. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I know this video was long, but like and subscribe, and I appreciate it. Have a good evening. Or good morning.